We are pleased to be joined by the great Will Hicks. He's been at SU since 2000, now currently serving as a special assistant to the head coach. Coach Hicks, great to have you on. How are you today?
I'm doing great. Appreciate it. Glad to be on.
All right, so we've got a lot to get to with you.
Not sure why you picked me. I'm just an old guy. I don't know much.
Well, a couple things. I know you're going to be part of the coaches' caravan tonight. I want to get into that. I want to talk about this current SU football team, but I want to start with the weekend. And you had a chance to be there as Dwight Freeny was formally inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. What was that like for you to have a front row seat to watching one of your former players go into the Hall?
Well, I've been at this a long time. I've had 14, 15 first rounders, 150 kids drafted, but it's my first Hall of Famer. I guess if you hang around long enough and get old enough, maybe you get one. But no, it was when Dwight called me back in March when he got the call and said he wanted me to be at all the events with him and his family. That meant an awful lot to me. But I had no idea when I showed up that I was going to be sitting on the front row and that Dwight would actually call me out during his, Hall of Fame induction speech. That kind of hit a soft spot with me a little bit. I'm glad I didn't choke up on TV when they put the camera on me.
What was Dwight like when he first showed up at Syracuse? Did you see an NFL player in him? It's hard to see a Hall of Famer in anybody, but what was he like when he rolled in?
I came in. I had Dwight as 2 years as a junior and senior, and he was a hard worker. He was tremendously talented. Me and him kind of clicked from the get-go, and the way I believe in training people, and the way Dwight wanted to be trained, and we hit a relationship then that has never changed. I mean, his 16 years into pros, he came back here every summer and worked that way. Dwight's one of these kind of guys that if the workout's not absolutely brutal and hard that day, he thinks that it was for somebody else, not for him. He just wants to go as hard as he can go every time he goes because he wants some carryover to his craft and how he plays.
You said that the two of you clicked. You talked about Dwight on the field and how he worked out and how he got ready for the season. Can you speak to, I guess, your personal relationship with him a little bit, and why did you guys get so close and stay so close for the last 25 years or so?
I think just the common mindset of things you can control, how hard you work, what you put into it, what you can get out of it. I first noticed Dwight, big legs, strong lower body, but he had a little bit of a different running gait. He kept his feet a little close to the ground. And I said, Dwight, we got to work on your lower abs and your hip flexors. And you get more knee drive and more knee lift, and all of a sudden his speed started improving. And, then he thought I actually knew what I was talking about, I guess. And that's when we really clicked. And I just kept pushing him. And he always came back. I remember I used to send him his workouts even during the season every Monday. I tried to get fancy one time and type them up and fax them to him or email them to him. And he called me. He was kind of mad because he thought I was supposed to write them on a sheet of paper like I always had to fax them to him. He said, Coach, that's for everybody. I want what you do just for me. So, yeah. But no, we had we were very, very special relationship. We were laughing that I'd be putting him through drills and stuff in the summer, and my two sons would be acting like they were quarterbacks and running for their life while he was chasing them. Dwight's a first-class individual. His relationships with everybody is so professional and so heartfelt. But just something was very, very close with how we handled things. I know, my son passed away in November, and probably I don't even know how Dwight found out. Within 24 hours, Dwight's calling me on the phone. Coach, what do you need? You need anything with the arrangements? What do you need? Can I help you with this and that? He just me and him are just extremely close. But he made me a better coach because you got to be. He challenges you. You better bring your A game every day when you train Dwight because your B game is not good enough.
Let's talk about him on the field. Did you ever see a player affect the game of football the way he did?
No, sir. Even if he was being in college, he was devastating. I mean, his 17.5 sacks as a senior, they didn't even count the strips and cause fumbles as sacks like they do now. He might have had 23, 24. But I know in the pros, I knew his agent very well, Gary Richard, who passed away. And, Gary was talking about his contract year, and we don't care how many sacks he got. People were having to change their entire offense, either sliding to protection, rolling the quarterback, doing something just to account for Dwight. So he eats up an offensive game plan during the week just to account for him. So he changed that aspect. He changed how people had to prepare. And then he was so relentless in his pursuit of the quarterback and his pursuit of getting his job done that it was fun to watch.
I want to go back to 2002 if we could, and I realize I'm going back 20-plus years here, but can you speak to what it was like when he got drafted? Because he went 11th overall, he went to the Colts, and they got a lot of criticism for taking him as high as they did, and then obviously, he turned into a Hall of Famer. Can you speak to, I guess, his attitude and how he handled that criticism that came with being the 11th overall pick in 2002?
We kind of thought that's where he was going to go. I had a very good relationship with Dom Neely, who's their personnel director, and Bill Polian, who was their general manager. And actually, me and Mr. Polian talked about it this weekend. He was at one of the events for Dwight after the enshrinement, and he was just talking about that. They wanted speed, they wanted a relentless type pass rusher, and Dwight could have went anywhere in the world and trained for the combine, done all that kind of stuff. He never left here. He trusted me, trusted Syracuse University. We got him to that point. And, his pro day here was shattering. And the Colts were here, and everybody else stayed to see him work out as a linebacker and see him work out as this, see him work out as that. After Dwight jumped and ran and did a couple things, the Colts packed it up, and they were out. They knew if he was going to be there, they wanted him.
What a great story, and obviously he proved him right with what happened after that, and producing a Hall of Fame career on the field. Coach, I do want to ask you about the various roles that you've had here at Syracuse University, including the one you have now, a special assistant to the head coach with Fran Brown. Can you speak to kind of your responsibilities now with the Orange and what you're up to on a daily basis?
I kind of do a little bit of everything. Basically, Coach Brown talked to me prior to even interviewing for the job, and we have a lot of common connections. He was very good friends with George DeLeon. They were at Temple and Baylor together. He said Coach DeLeon told him I was a football guy, and Coach Brown basically said, "Coach, you've been coaching 38 years. I'm only 40-something years old." He goes, "I think I need your experience around." And then since then, actually. Released something a couple weeks ago on the internet that he's got me back in the weight room now too. So he's got 3 strength coaches, but he wants me back in the weight room now too. He said, "Hey, you're gonna make us better just by being around." So I do a little bit of everything. Like I'm going to represent him tonight at the coaches Caravan because he comes off the practice field and goes watches the tape. So I'm gonna go out there and play my best Fran Brown. It's very refreshing. It's great for me. Really wants a connection between the alums and the program. We brought back the burning of the shoe last week. We're doing a lot of things very similar to how they were done here in the past. Tremendously represents tradition. And I was just telling the other gentleman that was talking to me before y'all came on, Dwight's real excited about coming back for the Georgia Tech game when we retire his jersey. Because he's excited about Fran and the direction of the program, and some of the traditions coming back, and some of the openness to the alumni, being back. And Coach Brown's been amazing. He had me start giving him 10 names of alums, like the first day he was here, and he would call them the next day, and then the next day I'd give him 10 more, and he'd call them, and 10 more, and he would call them, and he started reaching out to alums, welcoming them to come back, welcoming them to be part of things. Thanking them for what they did to put us in the situation that made Syracuse Syracuse. It's very exciting right now, and I'm tremendously lucky and honored to be part of it.
You know, along those lines, Coach, you've worked for several coaches here at Syracuse. I mean, you were here at the back end of P's time here. Worked under Greg Robinson and Marone and all along.
That was a little bit of a rough patch.
Yeah,
then,
right. So my question is, I mean, a lot of people say Fran Brown is different. I want to. How is he different in your opinion from what you've seen? The last few coaches.
He's different in the aspect he's like the hardcore football coaches that I've been with in the past. I was with Dick Sheridan at North Carolina State, and we went to like 9-10 straight bowl games. Attention to detail, don't beat yourself, control what you can control, be disciplined, don't have penalties, don't do things that you can control. Effort, attitude, and Coach Fran goes by DART. You're detailed, accountable, relentless, and tough. And the guys I've been around that have had tremendous success, they follow those little things. You do things the right way and play as hard as you can. And you look up at the end of the game and 0-0's on the clock. If you won more individual battles and you won more plays than they did, you probably don't win the game. So you just you gotta follow your assignment. You gotta do your job. You gotta do it the best you can. And you gotta have fun doing it. And
You talked about how you're getting back in the weight room. Can you speak to, I guess, the strength and conditioning approach under Fran Brown versus previous staffs, namely the last staff?
I don't want to speak much about the last staff because I wasn't in the weight room.
Sure.
Coach Brown has a tremendous amount of respect for what's done in the weight room. It's as big a priority as offense, defense, special teams, or anything else we do, if not more. Brought in 3 outstanding strength coaches, and I'm lucky to just kind of be in there and be the old guy walking around looking and helping out. But it's a really important thing to Coach Brown. Our level of conditioning, our level of strength, what our body weight is. We weigh all the time. We weigh injury prevention reasons. We weigh just to maintain health. Everything that you can control, we're going to do our best to take care of. And the weight room's a mindset. The weight room can make you tougher. It can make you more relentless, as proven with Dwight. And, that's part of our mantra being DART. Accountability of doing things, the detail of doing it the right way in the weight room, the relentlessness, and then get tougher. And Coach Fran always says, just get big and strong because big people beat up little people.
Yeah, that's true. It's very logical. And,
as a little person, I know
accurate.
that.
Yes, right. Very accurate.
There's one of the biggest. Like he came in and looked at our personnel and said, "Hey, look, we need to get a lot bigger. Big people beat up little people." And he said, "Give me some track times." He said, "Fast people outrun slow people." So he said, "We're gonna go after a couple of those. We're gonna go after big guys and fast guys, and then we'll teach them how to play."
Yeah, he's not wrong. All right, let's talk about the Coaches Caravan. And, this kind of ties into what we were discussing about the importance of getting the alumni back involved with the program. I know this is a chance to get the community back involved with the program. Can you speak to the Coaches Caravan and, last stop tonight at Heritage Hill and what folks can look forward to tonight?
Well, some lady called me and said, "Oh, we really appreciate you being involved tonight." I said, "Well, not sure I had a choice. Coach Brown told me I was going to represent him tonight." So, but no, he'll come off the practice field and go straight to watching tape, and so I can go do the deal for him. We'll just tell how practice has been going, tell how much we appreciate the community. It's been very well documented that our kids have been out in the community doing community service. Fran's been out in the community. He thinks it takes a whole village. Everybody needs to be in it together. His youth camps here with really young kids, they were $1. So kids could come be involved. It's not a money grab. It's participation. Get people involved. Get people around. Get people excited about Syracuse football. Fill the dome. Make the dome the loud house again. I was on the sideline of the 4.5 sack game where Dwight had Michael Vick, and when our fans started shaking their keys and it was third down, nobody could hear anything except, when they say, and sacked by number 54, Dwight Freeny.
Right. Yeah, it's great memories, Coach. And listen, thanks so much for coming on. You've always been very gracious to me and my wife. We appreciate that. Keep up the good work, and we'll see you over at Heritage Hill tonight.
Yeah, I'll be there. Take care.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Coach. The great Will Hicks, Coach Hicks, joining us here on the show, sharing some great stories, memorable moments with Dwight Freeny, Hall of Famer Dwight Freeny.
Correct.
And he may have broken some news. I did not know that did you know that the jersey ceremony was going to be at the Georgia Tech?
I knew it was happening.
I knew it was happening. I didn't know the date, but I think he may have broke some news for us here on the show.
Well, they better tell people pretty quick. That's the second game of the season.
Yeah, right.
I'm not a genius about marketing. But.
All right, we're going to take a timeout. Phone lines open for one segment at 315-437-7644. Thad Brown joins us at 1. Jordan Renan, 1:30. Back after this on ESPN Radio.